The night air above South Africa was warm and calm, and Esteban stood outside looking at the stars. He felt peaceful. The world was quiet around him. But then, a soft golden shimmer appeared above the trees. The light expanded slowly until a full swirling circle floated in the sky. The golden galaxy gate had opened. A gentle breeze moved the grass as Hercules stepped out of the portal first, his tail wagging proudly. Behind him came Chedon, smiling with excitement as the warm light faded around him. Esteban stared in surprise. Chedon, Hercules, and the Golden Gate. Something important was happening. Chedon spoke softly. Esteban, the galaxy has chosen you. The Vortaxis are planning to take all the Formula One drivers, cars, and teams from the Las Vegas Grand Prix. They want to abduct everyone on the main race day, when the entire paddock is in one place. We must stop this before it happens. Esteban nodded slowly. He had always been strong, calm, and ready. A true young Boer warrior. If the galaxy needed him, he would stand with Chedon. I am ready, he said firmly. The Golden Gate brightened again. Its golden light wrapped gently around all three of them. The portal lifted them into the sky, carrying them upward through swirling galaxies, warm glowing stars, and silent drifting light. After a long, quiet journey, they descended above the bright lights of Las Vegas. The city looked like a sea of diamonds scattered across the desert floor. The F1 track curved through the lights of the strip. Everything looked peaceful, but then they saw it. A giant violet ring-shaped ship hovering high above the paddock, hidden behind clouds. It hummed with quiet energy. The Vortaxis. Tall, glowing beings made of silver mist drifted around the ship. Their eyes shined like distant galaxies. They were not angry, but they were determined. Chedon breathed in calmly, gathering courage. He stepped forward. You cannot take our teams and drivers. They belong here. This Grand Prix belongs to Earth. A soft echoing voice responded from the violet ship. We admire your world's races. We admire the speed. We want the races for our own grand galaxy tournament. Esteban stood beside Chedon with steady confidence. Real champions do not win by stealing. The Vortaxis flickered with uncertainty. Their glowing shapes shifted gently like smoke moving in slow motion. Chedon spoke again, his voice brave and calm. You want a race. We understand. But you cannot take ours. If you want a race, we will help you create a new one. A Galaxy Grand Prix. A race in your world, not ours. But you must leave the Las Vegas race untouched. A long silent moment passed. The wind brushed softly against the Las Vegas track far below. Hercules stood perfectly still, watching the Vortaxis with steady eyes. Finally, the leader of the Vortaxis drifted closer. You offer a choice, a fair race, a contest freely given. This is the way of true champions. Chedon nodded. Then leave our race safe. No abductions, no fear. The leader responded slowly. We agree. The Las Vegas Grand Prix will remain untouched. The violet ship dimmed its lights, and the glowing figures drifted backward slowly. But Chedon knew there was still more to do. The Vortaxis might have agreed to leave the Las Vegas race alone, but the Grand Prix was still in danger. Their machines were already in place. Their gravity beams were charged. If anything malfunctioned, the entire paddock could still be pulled upward into the sky. Chédon looked at Esteban. "We have to check the track. Make sure nothing has been left behind." Esteban nodded. "Let us go." The Golden Gate glowed softly again and lowered them onto the Las Vegas circuit. The air smelled like warm asphalt and desert wind. The empty grandstands towered above them, silent and still. Bright lights from the strip reflected off the metal fences. Everything felt peaceful, but only on the surface. Hercules sniffed the air and let out a quiet growl. Chédon followed him. "What is it, boy?" Hercules walked toward the starting grid, nose low to the ground. Esteban walked beside him, his cape brushing lightly against his legs. When they reached the center of the track, they found it. A shimmering purple device was hidden under the edge of the barrier. It pulsed softly, sending tiny vibrations through the air. It was one of the Vortaxis gravity anchors. Even if the ship left, the device would activate automatically on race day. Esteban picked it up carefully. "What does it do?" Chédon ran his fingers along the smooth metal surface. "If all the anchors activate together, they can lift everything into space. Cars, drivers, even the track itself." They began searching and quickly found more anchors. One by the pit lane wall, one behind the garages, one under the Red Bull tent, one near Ferrari, one near Mercedes. Hercules barked each time he found one, and Esteban collected them carefully. By dawn, they had gathered all the devices into one pile. The soft morning light colored the track gold. Las Vegas was waking up. Chédon placed his hand on the top of the glowing pile. Golden strands of light appeared between his fingers. He whispered softly, "Gatekeeper, we have removed the danger, but these must be taken away." A gentle, warm voice filled the still morning air. "Place them inside the gate. They will be returned to their galaxy." A portal opened beside them. Esteban lifted the anchors one by one and placed them inside until the last purple light faded. Chédon exhaled slowly. The Las Vegas Grand Prix was safe. Just then, a quiet hum filled the air again, but this time, it was different. A small shuttle descended from the sky carrying two figures wearing dark red jackets and official headsets. They stepped out with wide eyes. "You must be Chédon," the first one said softly. "We have been told what you did. You prevented a disaster. You protected the drivers. You protected the teams." Chédon looked shy for a moment. "I only did what was right." The second official smiled. "Sometimes doing what is right is what saves the world." They knelt down to Chédon's height. "We want to thank you, and we want to offer you something special. When you are older, if you wish, you may train with any Formula One team you choose. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, anyone. You will always be welcome." Esteban grinned proudly. Chédon smiled quietly, and Hercules wagged his tail so hard his whole body shook. Then the first official looked at Esteban. "And you, young warrior, are welcome too. Anyone who stands by a friend with such courage deserves honor on our track." The sun rose over the paddock. The world was safe. The race day would go on peacefully, and no one would ever know how close the Grand Prix came to being taken away. Chédon looked up at the bright morning sky. The Vortaxis ship was already gone, but something told him this was not the end. They had promised a new race in their galaxy, a galaxy Grand Prix, and soon they would return. Chedon, Esteban, and Hercules watched as the morning sun rose above the Las Vegas paddock. The city shimmered like a golden jewel. The F1 teams were preparing for the biggest race day of the year. No one knew how close they had come to losing everything. Only the boys knew how close the Vortaxis had been to lifting the drivers, the cars, and the entire race straight into the sky. The paddock felt alive. Engines rumbled in the distance. Crew members rushed past with tools and headsets. Chedon felt something warm inside his chest. He knew they had saved this moment. He knew families around the world would be cheering today because of them. A voice called behind them. It was the race director himself, walking toward the boys with two officials in dark blue jackets. Chedon and Esteban stood tall. Hercules sat between them, chest out, looking proud. The director smiled. "We wanted to thank you." He looked at Chedon first. "We know you stopped something terrible from happening. The world will never know what almost took place today. But we know, and we want to honor you." Chedon felt his heart flutter with pride. He glanced at Esteban, who stood straight, like a real young warrior. One official bent down to Chedon's height. "Young hero, sometimes courage is not loud. It is quiet. It is choosing to do the right thing when no one else sees. Because of you, the race will go on." Another official stepped forward and looked at Esteban. "And you, brave friend from South Africa, you followed without hesitation. Loyalty like yours is rare." Esteban smiled shyly. "I would follow my friend anywhere." Hercules barked once, as if saying, "Me too." The race director continued. "We want to offer something in return. Chedon, when you are older, if you wish, you may train with any Formula One team you choose. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, any team. You will always be welcome because you protected this sport." Chedon's mouth fell open. Esteban nudged him. "Dude, that is crazy." Then the director looked at Esteban again. "And you, young warrior, you also have a place here. Anyone who stands by a friend the way you did deserves honor on our track." Esteban's eyes softened. "Thank you, truly." The director leaned closer. "And there is one last thing. The Vortaxis invited us to a new kind of race, a cosmic race in their galaxy. We have agreed. After Thanksgiving, we will join them for the first ever Galaxy Grand Prix, and you boys will be our honored guests." Chedon and Esteban gasped. "A race in space." The director smiled. "You saved our race. Now we will join theirs." Chedon looked at the sky. It was bright and warm. Somewhere far above, the Vortaxis were already preparing. He knew this was only the beginning. More adventures were waiting, more missions, more galaxies. Esteban placed his hand on Chedon's shoulder. "Ready for the next one?" Chedon nodded. "Always." Hercules barked twice, tail wagging fast. Together they turned back toward the paddock, watching the teams prepare for the legendary race they had saved. The engines roared to life, and deep in the universe, the Vortaxis waited for the return of the two young heroes who changed everything. Because soon, after Thanksgiving, the Galaxy Grand Prix would begin, and Chedon and Esteban would be there. The morning of the Las Vegas Grand Prix arrived quietly, almost peacefully, but Chedon knew the truth. The Vortaxis were still watching, still waiting. Their ship was hidden far above the clouds, invisible to every camera and radar on Earth. Chedon, Esteban, and Hercules stood near the edge of the paddock. They could hear the engines warming up. Mechanics ran past. Fans cheered in the distance. And even though everything looked normal, the air felt different. Charged. Chédon whispered, "They are coming back. I can feel it." Esteban nodded. "Then we stay alert, like warriors." Hercules stood between them, ears raised, tail stiff. There was a sudden shimmer in the sky, a flicker of blue light. Chedon and Esteban exchanged a glance. They knew what it meant. The Vortaxis appeared again, not the entire ship, just a projection. A tall, shimmering figure formed above the track, silent at first. Then the voice spoke. "Young protectors, we return not for battle but for respect. You stopped us before. You showed courage. You showed heart. And because of this, we honor your planet today." Chédon stepped forward. "Then why come back now?" The Vortaxis replied, "To reassure your leaders that the race will be safe, and to invite you both to our galaxy. After your world finishes the celebration you call Thanksgiving, we will host the first ever Galaxy Grand Prix. Your Earth racers have accepted our invitation." Chédon felt his heart thump with excitement. A real race, in space. Esteban crossed his arms proudly. "And we will be there." The Vortaxis bowed its head. "You will be honored guests. You saved your Grand Prix. You earned your place." As the projection faded, the sun burst through the clouds as if the universe itself approved. Crew members suddenly rushed over. "Boys, are you okay?" "What was that? What happened?" Chédon just smiled. "Nothing to worry about now. The race is safe." The announcer's voice boomed across the track. "Drivers to your cars. It is time." Chédon and Esteban watched as the world's fastest machines rolled into position. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren. Engines rumbled like thunder. The lights above the track glowed red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The lights went out. The race exploded to life. Cars screamed forward. Fans roared. The ground shook. It was electric, powerful, alive. And as the laps flew by, Chédon felt something warm inside him. He had helped make this moment possible. When Max Verstappen crossed the finish line, the city erupted with cheers that echoed through the entire desert. Later, as the crowds faded and the sun set behind the buildings, 2 F1 officials approached quietly. "Chédon, Esteban, we have something for you." They handed Chédon a silver badge shaped like a lightning bolt. The words Future F1 Academy were engraved on the back. "You saved our race," they said. "From today forward, you may train with any Formula One team you wish. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, any team. You will always be welcome." Esteban received his own badge, a symbol of loyalty and bravery. Chédon held his badge tightly. He felt taller, stronger, like a future champion. The sky shimmered once more, a tiny crack of blue light. The Vortaxis giving one final signal. "We will return after Thanksgiving. Prepare for the Galaxy Grand Prix." Chédon looked at Esteban. Esteban looked at Chédon. And Hercules barked once, ready for the next mission. And so, the night grew calm again. The bright lights of Las Vegas faded gently behind them as Chédon and Esteban stood together on the balcony, looking out over the city they had saved. Hercules curled up at their feet, tired but happy. The Vortaxis were gone. The Formula One Grand Prix was safe. The world would wake up not knowing how close they came to losing the race, the drivers, and the entire event. Because a brave boy, his best friend, and a loyal dog stood up when no one else could. Chedon whispered quietly, almost to himself, "We did it, together." Esteban nodded proudly, "Always together." Hercules wagged his tail, as if agreeing with every word. And now, here's what we learned from tonight's adventure. Real heroes stay calm when things get scary. True friendship becomes stronger when we help each other. Teamwork can save the day, even when the challenge feels too big. Courage is choosing to step forward, not running away. And leaders, real leaders, protect others, even when nobody is watching. Chedon and Esteban proved that you don't have to be grown-ups to make a difference. You just need a brave heart, a kind spirit, and friends who stand by your side. And soon, their next adventure would begin.